legends, today's video is brought to you by the letter Phi and the golden ratio compressor from Crazy Tube Circuits. I have tried quite a few of their pedals in the past. You can go and watch those videos on my channel if you like, but basically everything they send out to me is pretty fantastic, both from a tonal standpoint and from a feature and build quality standpoint. This pedal is really no exception. It's got 3 different compression types as well as a clean blend control on there. And we're gonna hear what it does. So let's just dive straight into it. I'm gonna start on a telly for something different today. We're gonna hear the tone with the pedal bypass, then I'm gonna bring it in with the ratio down nice and low. Attack and release are roughly set at noon, and we're just gonna play around with this to start with, basically as a tone enhancer. I'll bring the volume control up so that you can hear it as a boost as well. But first, the dry sound, and then we're just gonna use this to give everything a bit of a glow, starting on the opto mode. So using it, not really for compression, but as a tone enhancer and for character is pretty awesome. Let's just leave it there and I'll play around with the different types. I really like the FET mode on this, but we'll hear where we were on opto, and then I'll just flick up through the 3 different modes. And what I've done there is I've just brought the ratio up a little bit. I've turned the threshold up. You can see that little red light on there, which indicates that the compressor is working, is really working hard now with the threshold turned up here. I do like on this particular pedal that as you turn the attack down, the attack time is lower and vice versa. Same thing with the release. Let's go totally squishy now. I will go with the ratio all the way up. I'll bring the threshold all the way up there as well. We'll go for a really fast attack and I'll bring the release down to about noon. Again, let's just have a listen to these settings and play around with the 3 different modes. You notice that middle mode really kind of works great as a sort of sustainer, especially with these clean sounds on here and especially with chords, but we're on the FET mode at the moment. So I think I've done about as much as I can when it comes to that kind of a country guitar tone with a compressor and a telly on there. Totally not my wheelhouse, but the joy with compression in that kind of setting is that not only will it even out, you know, the kind of articulations between your rhythm playing and your lead playing, you don't have to have searing amounts of distortion to have sustain on there. So that's the way I would use that. Let's check it out now with a Strat with a clean sound. What I usually go for with these kind of things is a long release. Again, I want some sustain, but a really fast attack on there. I'm gonna leave the threshold and the ratio where they are. Maybe we can play around with the blend control in here, but I really like this FET mode on everything. I know I've said that I liked it before, but especially on clean sounds on here. Let's hear the clean tone, and then I'll bring in the FET, then we can hear the difference with the different compressor types in there. Three types there sound different. The differences are subtle tonally, but as with any compressor, the big difference you're going to get is when you actually play with it and when you actually feel how notes react under your fingers. And having the blend control, as we heard at the end there, is awesome. It's a great way to just kind of add some sparkle and some brilliance to your sound without that overtly affected squishy kind of sound in there. But normally when I use compressors, I do like the squishy stuff. The last thing that I want to show off with this particular pedal is using it in front of some dirt, basically to add a whole bunch of sustain, and again, use it in that kind of tonal enhancer / boost setting. This is my PRS SC245. This is what it sounds like, really, really distorted and chunky. I have set the compressor with a really fast attack, a pretty fast release compared to the other settings we've been using before. I've got the volume cranked, the ratio quite low, and the threshold, where is it? Right at about noon. Let's hear it as a boost with the three different compressor types. So you can hear the opto mode there is kind of tightening everything up. The middle mode is blowing out the low end a little bit. I don't like that as much on a rhythm guitar sound. And the FET mode, like it did with everything else, is just kind of adding a bit of character in there. So let's go to that middle mode. Let's turn the ratio up a little bit and the threshold up. And I'm going to use this with a really long release for some lead lines on here. And we can hear the difference with it off and then on. More sustain and more distortion is always good, right? Well, here one more example. I'm on the FET mode. I'm going to use the clean blend at about noon. I've got the volume all the way up, the ratio all the way down, the threshold all the way up, attack all the way down, and the release is quite low. We get this. As always with compression, it's what feels and sounds right to you, and that seems to hit the sweet spot for this particular guitar, or this particular over-the-top distorted sound. Now, what I'm going to say about this particular pedal basically applies to the entire range of Crazy Tube Circuits pedals that I have tried. I've liked all of them, and if they had far fewer features on them, I think they would still be really good pedals worthy of your consideration. But again, the fact that this one has 3 different compression types, the fact that it's got a blend control on there, the fact that you can get in and tweak the internal trim pots. You know, if you've got guitars with active pickups that you use all the time and you want to use it with this pedal, you can optimize it for that using those trim pots. It's just these really thoughtful little extra features, as well as the really solid build quality and attention to detail, that I think sets their pedals apart, whether it is this pedal, whether it's the Cyclone Phaser pedal that I've previously demoed on the channel, their recent delay pedal, some of the stuff that they've got coming up. I really don't have anything bad to say about them, and I think they outperform pedals that are far more hyped and far more expensive on the market. So that is the golden ratio from Crazy Tube Circuits. Let me know what you all thought in the comments section below, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.